I'm Doug Karsh at Yost Ice Arena, and this is Inside Michigan Hockey. This past weekend, Michigan in action, home and home series with Michigan State. Wolverines jumped out to a 4-1 lead at home against the Spartans in Game 1, hung on for a 4-3 win.
We're just happy to be in games now and, hopefully turning the tide on the season. But anytime you play against Michigan State, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be back and forth hockey. It's going to be intense. We had a phenomenal crowd tonight. It's great playing for a crowd like that, but when you play Michigan State, it's going to be like that.
We need to get back on a streak here and winning, and that's a good team we played against tonight. So it's encouraging for the guys on the team, and hopefully we'll do it again tomorrow.
In East Lansing, Chris Brown put the Wolverines on the board first, and Michigan led 3-2 late. Spartans got the equalizer, and while Michigan carried the play in overtime, we went to a shootout where the Spartans got the 1-0 win.
I think overall this was a good weekend for us. After we'd kind of gone on that little skid, we needed to bounce back, and it obviously started on Friday with a big win at home against Michigan State, and then on Saturday it was a good game. It was going back and forth, and those shootouts are tough. It comes down to who's more skilled or who's ready, and you get a lucky break, and that's it.
What did Red say to you guys after the weekend?
No, he just said, obviously there's a lot of stuff that we need to improve on. He said that's a good stepping stone, even though we wanted 2 wins. But take the time off that we have and come back and at the last half of the year and come back trying to win.
He did think we could have played better on Saturday. There were some breakdowns in our D zone, and they had maybe a little bit too many chances. But overall, it was a good weekend.
Both games you had leads and almost slipped away Friday night and did slip away on Saturday. What's the key to holding on to those leads?
I think it's just being mentally prepared. It's knowing that you got to go out every shift and fight for the puck, possess it and not give it away. And if we can do that, we get up on a team, they're not going to come back.
And we're joined right now by the head coach of the Wolverines, Red Berenson, and coming off the Michigan State weekend, the win on Friday and the tie and shootout loss on Saturday. How do you feel?
Well, I feel pretty good about our team, Doug. I thought we could have won the Saturday game. All but one penalty kill, 16 seconds away on a weak call to start with. I liked our team. I thought we played well here, and we should have played better than the 4-3 score on Friday. We had a 4-1 lead. And then Saturday, I liked the way we started the game. Even though we were down 2-1, I thought we were the better team. And then as the game wore on, we had a lead going into the last 10 minutes and gave it up on that penalty. But overall, I liked our team this weekend.
Guys like Brown and Lynch getting involved in the scoring, you need those veterans to come through for you. And you've kind of been waiting, I'm sure. And to get them going on Friday night had to be good.
Well, no question. We've had a lot of guys that have been maybe on the wrong end of puck luck in the first half for one reason or another, but I can see a bigger jump in Kevin Lynch's stride now. He's working harder, he's playing with more confidence, and it was good to see him score the other night on Friday. And Chris Brown, since we put him on that line with Wahlberg and Guptill, he's been on fire, and he's been strong and confident. So I hate to take the break now because I think our team is just starting to go.
And Guptill scores. I don't know if you saw this coming. Having watched Guptill play last year, I wasn't sure. I certainly didn't think he'd hit the ground running like this. Has he surprised you?
Yeah, no question. Alec had a couple of off years for injury. He broke his hand. He broke one collarbone, then he broke the other one. He never really got going in the last couple of years, but when we recruited him, he was a goal scorer. We could see that he had that in him, but I'm surprised he'd been able to do it this quick. And so he's had a good first half of his freshman year.
What were the things that happened that got you to the 4-1 lead that perhaps weren't there that got them back into that game Friday night?
Well, I thought the penalties played a role in it. Again, our PK has been inconsistent. And, now the one power play goal hit the glass and bounced in off Hunwick's back, if you remember. So the pucks have been going in. The other one was a deflection. And another one, we just didn't get the puck out of our zone, if you remember. And we had a chance to clear the end. We didn't. We couldn't change. We ended up too tired, cost us a goal. Now, give them marks. They came out and they pushed hard the first 5 minutes. They got 2 goals in the first 5 minutes, and that changed the game.
Chris Brown got another one on Saturday night, which is big for him, and you mentioned his production. And then you got that 3-2 lead, and I know you want to hang on to it. You made it clear you didn't like the penalty call, but what are the keys to hanging on to those leads? What almost happened on Friday?
Well, the one key to it is building on the lead, Doug. And, You know, we had chances to score that we could have just buried them, and we didn't. And then, sure enough, it's a close game. The referee gets involved, and they get a lucky goal on a poor play on our part. So we've got to take care of business. We've got to pay attention to detail. We've got to stay on the ice, and when we do have to kill a penalty, we've got to kill it with more authority.
You're losing the shootout 1-0. I don't know if there's anything that can be said about shootouts. I know you guys practice them at the end of practice, but what can be done to win a shootout?
Well, I think you just have to get lucky, and I think our scores are as good as anybody's scores. But on a given night, you get one shot, you've got to make it count. And we put the guys in there that we thought were having good games and had already scored that game, for example, and didn't happen. So. I don't like shootouts to decide a game. I like watching them on TV, but as a coach, I hate for our crowd or our team to be disappointed because of a shootout, and it's not something that you can even duplicate in practice.
As a coach, you say you don't like them. How would Red Berenson, the player, feel about participating in a shootout?
Well, that's the other thing, Doug, is Red Berenson, the scorer, would probably like that challenge. But Red Berenson, let's say the penalty killer or the defensive player that doesn't even get a chance to participate in it, then he has no impact on the outcome of the game. Or the Red Berenson, the defenseman, for example, who doesn't even get a shot in a shootout, he's sitting there just relying on your goalie to salvage that extra point.
With the Wolverine offense in the deep freeze, Red Berenson looked to change things up as the team was in Fairbanks, Alaska. He went with a new line that was bigger and would not be pushed around. Well, the Wolverines have done that and then some as the attack has heated up since the team headed back south. Michigan's new top line of senior David Wahlberg, junior Chris Brown, and freshman Alex Guptill scored 5 of the Wolverines' 7 goals last weekend against the Spartans.
I think we just play similar styles, so we know where we're going to be on the ice.
We're gelling right now. We're producing, and that's something that coach has been asking us to do, is be that top line and really get the spark for the team. And so, I mean, we're 3 big guys. We're strong, and we're using our size and our speed and our abilities just to capitalize.
We've been scoring pretty well every game, and we're all contributing. I mean, we're all really big guys. I think Wally's the smallest guy at 6'2". I mean, Brownie might be a little bit more, 6'2". Then, yeah, so definitely I think we get the puck in there deep and we just go to work, and I think that's been our biggest success so far.
Guptill was just named the CCHA Rookie of the Week after scoring a goal Friday and adding 2 assists Saturday. The 6'3", 189-pound freshman leads the team with 9 goals.
We had chemistry right away. I mean, I think we all kind of complement each other. We're all kind of scorer passers. We're all big and fast and pretty strong. So, I mean, I think when you threw us all together, we pretty well complement each other pretty well.
Who's the strongest one?
Oh, I'll go me. I'll go strongest. I'll say Wally's probably the fastest, and Guppy's probably got the knack for the net right now. So I think all 3 of those things are really working well together.
I think Brown's the biggest, just by weight. But Guptill, he's a freshman, but he's pretty strong. And then I think I'm 3rd on the line.
Do you tell Guptill they should be honored to be on this line, being just the freshman?
No, not yet. When I was in the same situation when I was a freshman, so maybe if we play a little longer together.
Oh, probably Brownie. He's probably the strongest. I'm not quite up there yet. I'll catch up to them pretty soon, hopefully.
It's just a bit disappointing that the break in the schedule comes just when the Wolverines were finding their groove. You come up with a name yet? Nickname?
No, not yet.
Any ideas?
I haven't even thought about it.
No, we don't have a nickname yet. I don't know. I guess you could kind of get one going, but it's kind of early, I guess. We've only had about 4 games together, so we'll see how that goes.
Anything come to mind? You think of any on the spot?
No, I can't really think of any on the spot. I don't know. We got a pretty good mix of people. I mean, Michigan, Texas, and Canada, so we'll see. Maybe someone will come up with something.
If you have a nickname for the Wohlberg Brown Guptill line, pass it along on the team's Facebook page. Just find us at Facebook/Michigan Hockey. At Yost Arena, I'm Anthony Polidano for Inside Michigan Hockey.
All right, Anthony, thank you. And Coach, talk about that line. Wahlberg, Guptill, Brown. What made you put them together?
Well, we just thought David Wahlberg was a better player than he was showing in the first half, and we played him on left wing, and Wally's played both left wing and center. I thought he needed a change, and putting him with two guys that were playing on different lines, all three of them, but putting them all together, you could just see right away there was something going on. And I think it was good for Chris Brown, and it's been good for young Alex Guptill. So you've got a senior, a junior, and a freshman, but they really complement each other.
Is that kind of fun as a coach, mixing lines until you see something click?
Well, it's not fun when nothing's clicking, but when you see a line start clicking, like this line, I mean, that's what you need. Our team needs more than one line clicking, but good for them. I think it's something to look forward to in the second half.
All right, you hit the break, and you mentioned earlier you like the way this team is playing going into the break, and you don't want the break now. What have they done in the last couple of games, at least, where you think, okay, now we're playing the kind of hockey we want to play?
Well, we're starting to play better with the puck. I think we're controlling the puck better. Our rushes are better. Our breakouts are better with the puck. And I think our power play hopefully is going to get better. That's the offensive side, Doug. And we're starting to get some individuals, some confidence. You talked about a line, but I can talk about some individuals like Kevin Lynch and Chris Brown and Guptill and Wahlberg and so on that are starting to show some offensive confidence. And then on the flip side, defensively, I think our team's starting to get it in terms of back checking and defensive zone coverage and how hard they have to work in our zone. So I think our game is slowly coming together.
All right, great honor coming up next Tuesday. One of your former players, Mike Knuble, will become the first Michigan player to play in 1,000 NHL games. I want you to think back to when you first laid your eyes on him as a player. Would you have ever predicted that?
Well, no, I wouldn't have. I mean, Mike was a big, a little bit awkward kid coming out of Grand Rapids, and he had played high school hockey, and then he played 1 year junior in Kalamazoo. You could see he had some special things going for him, but I wouldn't have looked past college hockey at that time. But he had the size, he had the will, and certainly he's shown that he's had the longevity, and good for Mike.
When did you see it start to click where you thought there might be more there?
Well, even his freshman year, like, he loved to play the man. He was a big, strong kid, and you could hear him coming. Like, you could just hear him, the power in his stride when he skated down the ice. And then when he got the puck and he started to get some confidence in his shot, and he had a big-time shot, and then he started to put the pieces together. As you talk about a power forward, Mike Knuble became the epitome of a power forward in college, and then he just continued that in the NHL.
And when you talk to Mike Knuble, what do you guys talk about these days?
Well, you just talk about how his family's doing, what he's doing in the off season, and how he's feeling about next year. How's his body holding up? How's he training? And one of the nice stories about Mike is he didn't finish his degree in his 4 years. He had to do some extra work, and so it was at the time of his wedding that I personally delivered his M ring. For graduating. So he persevered and got his classwork done after school, and then it was a couple of years later when I went to his wedding and hand delivered his ring. So I remember that about him. But you talk about a quality representative of college hockey and the University of Michigan, and any pro team that he's played on, Mike Knuble is that person.
Maybe I shouldn't ask this. Do you know which ring he was more excited about, his wedding ring or his M ring?
Well, I think he was excited about both. I mean, I know how I felt about my wedding ring. I was glad I got it. I didn't like the getting part, but the M ring, I know he's got a lot of fond memories at Michigan, and he knew he was doing the right thing. And obviously he did the right thing with his wedding as well. So Mike Knuble is one of those people who does the right thing.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Good. Thank you, Doug.
Wolverines will be taking final exams this week. Little hockey practice mixed in before some time off for the holidays. They'll hit the ice preparing for the annual Great Lakes Invitational coming up between Christmas and New Year's.
There's a bunch of things that we can improve on. We can always improve, but our special teams mainly, our power play hasn't been the greatest, and we got to work on our PK. and just being strong defensively and kind of getting pucks out and just going to that hard. So we're working on a couple things.
Do you sense a second half run is coming for this team?
Yeah, I do. We had a couple tough weekends, a tough month, and we're just working hard as a team, and everybody's really bonded. So I really feel that we have all the right players to make a huge run in the second half.
We just need to be more mentally prepared. I think we have a little bit of momentum now moving into the second half of the season. And if we can just continue to roll, we're going to be okay.
You feel a run coming?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like last year.
Don't forget Great Lakes Invitational. We'll have coverage here on mgoblue.com. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Michigan Hockey. We'll see you in the new year as we continue our coverage of the 2011-2012 Michigan hockey team here on mgoblue.com. So long.